The half-year reset, a journaling exercise designed to get your life back on track by Streezless. Hello, this is just a short video because I just finished filming the actual video that I meant to film, and I realized that today is quite literally the exact halfway point of the entire year. July 2nd. I want to just check that. What is the exact middle date of the year?
According to Wikipedia, July 2nd.
Okay, suspicion confirmed, and that's only because the last time I made a video about the middle of the year, I did June 1st. It's June 1st, which means the first half of 2021 is done, and now we are officially in the second half. And I just look like an absolute dummy. Still think about that. Anyway, if your year has gone a bit like mine and you wouldn't mind resetting or just wrangling your direction into the actual direction that you want to go, I have made this freaking journaling resource. It's free, by the way. I'm not like selling this or whatever, so just use it. I put this together 2 years ago, and the reason that I didn't talk about it last year is because my daughter was just born. But I reread it and I don't know, holds up, so let's do it. Step 1, empty your head. Write out every single thought in your head in whatever style you like. The idea is that by emptying your head onto the page, you can use it to solve problems as opposed to store them. The purpose of this is to capture our thoughts onto the page so we don't have rogue thoughts interrupting the potentially really cool thoughts. If you got a thought like, I need to do the laundry later, or I've got to write back to that email, by putting it here, we increase the chances of it not being up here. So when we do set like a massive goal for 6 months time, in 6 months time, I know that I am gonna, wait, I had to do something earlier, didn't I? This might just be my ADHD experience of the world, but getting distracted by rogue thoughts when I'm trying to plan is often the reason that my plans don't happen. So that's what we're starting with. We're emptying our head. I've written here, it may feel unnatural, but with fewer thoughts you have vying for your time, the more powerful the rest of the exercise will be. Step 2, we've got these 2 columns, right? And here we write down the goals that we wanted 6 months ago, and then we write down what actually happened over the past 6 months. Now this is gonna be a bit of a confronting exercise for me because I probably had, arguably some of the worst 6 months of my life. Arguably. The best thing was definitely my daughter, but everything else kind of went wrong. So to extend that vulnerability into the exercise, what I would say is what I wanted to happen, even just in the context of this YouTube channel, I wanted to make a bucket list documentary series. What actually happened, I made 2.5 episodes and fell into a massive creative rut. Whoops. Fitness, what I wanted to happen, I wanted to be a calisthenics god. What actually happened, I did run a marathon. That was pretty crazy. And pretty much nothing else. Yeah, I've been slacking, man. Real bad. This is making me examine myself. Ugh. I'll give you a third example because it's not all doom and gloom. So in the world of parenting, I just wanted to keep my daughter alive. Very low expectations there. And what actually happened is she became the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like literally the best thing. Oh my God. Wow. Step 4, so this is where we take the observations from question 3 and we analyze them. So goals I missed and why I missed them. And then goals I hit and why I hit them. I wanted to make a lot more art in the past 6 months and I didn't. And sometimes you've got to ask why quite a few times. So I wasn't feeling particularly inspired. Why? Because I wasn't feeling like my work meant anything. Why? Because I didn't really like myself particularly much. Why? Probably because I wasn't exercising or sleeping very well. Why? Because of the child who I love. Oh, I know why. I think I felt like I was on the precipice of such a corny word, success, in my own definition of whatever the hell that means. And I think I self-sabotaged on account of not believing that I have something to say or anything worthwhile to contribute, which is of course just a story, but I think that's probably why I missed it, if I'm to really analyze. Now, goals I hit and why I hit them. Sobriety, brother. Yeah, I think I hit it because of shame, honestly, because of shame that I have around drugs and alcohol. So maybe the shame that was fueling that was probably fueling the lack of art. Who knows? Is this things I should tell a therapist or things I should tell my YouTube channel? Find out next week on Bald Guy.
Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, so that concludes our reflection part. Now we get on to the fun stuff, actually painting the picture of what we want. Write down your ideal second half of the year and the big reason you want it, aka your goals and their why. If you want to know more about goals and finding whys, which I think is an interesting subject and needs a little bit more of a second look, then I'll link some videos that I made on both those subjects in the description. Dream big, think ideal scenario, focus on things you can control and pair them with a compelling reason as to why you want them in your life. I will also add, now 2 years later with a bit more experience, also pair them with media that makes that goal seem possible. So if you don't run but you do want to run, listen to a book from somebody who once thought thought that and now runs a lot. You know what I'm saying? Possibility parent, baby. Step 6, order your goals in terms of importance. So I'm gonna take my personal, like my family goals out of the equation here just because I find that I'm doing it automatically. And I'm just gonna look at my creative/work goals. Most important, probably this channel. Yeah. All right, let's put that at the top. Followed by a book, followed by art. Sorry, art. Step 7, who would you have to be to complete these? This is where we're getting into the really cool practical stuff. So what would you have to believe about yourself? What would you need to do more of? What would you need to do less of? So I like this because we're taking these big lofty goals, but we're expressing them in terms of our identity and our daily actions. For me, in the past, I've noticed that I massively benefit from running. Just if I'm running, I'm good. Sobriety has been incredibly good for me, so I guess I'll keep doing that. And about 90% less time on my phone. And then I've got in a sentence, I will need to be literally perfect. Oh, another spelling error. Compelling. You doofus. In a sentence, I will need to be the man I am when I'm a dad, but also now with my art and work.
There I go again, talking about my kids.
All right, so I might have actually just found my insight here, and that is I've not been expressing my art and my work in my head as things that help my child. I've been thinking of them in opposition to each other. I'm either with her or I'm making stuff. Holy hell, man, just literally a lifetime epiphany. I just need to see the stuff I make as also helping her, which I mean, technically it is. Working is providing, which is helping her. It's not at opposition. Yeah, holy hell. Yeah, I've just been seeing those two things as verses. No, it's togethers. Yeah, that's nice. That's incredibly nice. Holy shit, man. All right, next question, step 8, create a system where you can realistically hit your goals over the next 6 months. So this is about routines and habits, and I've written here, and I like this little sentence, plan for average and challenging days, not perfect days. So one thing that I think I've let slide too much in the past 6 months is the way I structure my environment. For example, my camera, I've been packing it up in between filming stuff, and I never used to do that, and it's not totally inconvenient, you know, you just set it up. However, my brain has exploited that friction as a reason to do nothing. It's like, oh, setting up a camera, what's next? Terraforming Mars. So one system that I'm gonna make is I'm gonna leave my stuff set up, which is cool because I'll have a bit more space soon because we're moving, and yeah, I'm excited to do that. Home stretch, how will you stick to the plan when things get tough? This one's about the fact that life inevitably does something that you don't want it to do, and that's kind of the whole shtick, I guess. So instead of every single time that happens being like, what? It's being prepared for it. Let's say, I don't know, I break both my legs. Oh gosh, what will keep me on track then? Well, it sure won't be squats. One way to answer this question, I'd say, is to look at where you are in your life right now and just work backwards from there. So where I am is I get so much joy and energy from being a dad.
Is there anything more interesting about you other than your kid?
How can I use that as a system, reward, or tactic to keep me on track when things get tough? That becomes a more specific question. All right, so let's think. I think I'm gonna rebuild my goal wall, but this time I'm gonna have everything phrased in terms of how it helps my daughter. Because genuinely, I am that freaking love-pilled, dude. And I'm guessing to everybody who doesn't have kids, that sounds corny as shit, but I swear that's what it's done to my brain. A good example would be, I haven't really been doing much yoga this past 6 months. I used to do a lot of yoga, don't anymore. But what I think will work is me phrasing yoga as a means to hold her or dance better with her around the kitchen or, you know, do really fun stuff. Already I'm excited. This is really cool. And the final part, step 10. Why do you deserve this improvement? Oh, that's nice. Finishing on a bit of self-love. Sorry, I feel like I'm reacting to this thing I made 2 years ago and I'm just enjoying it. That's healthy. It's gotta be healthy. That feels healthy. This section is about self-worth. Push past your brain's Campbell. Meant to put an apostrophe. I put a semicolon. Push past your brain's tendency to self-defeat and fill this box with reasons because they definitely exist. Again, this is corny, but if I phrase myself as my daughter's dad, I feel like that dude deserves heaps. So yeah, man, that's a pretty big one for me. Step 11, take action right now. Whatever action you can take towards your most important goals, take it right now. The idea is that we are creating inertia from this journaling exercise into our lives. Good luck, you've got this. Thank you, past Cam, and thank you for doing it. I am gonna go do some yoga, and then with my limber arms, when my daughter wakes up, I'm gonna dance with her. It's gonna be amazing. Alrighty, that's the half year reset. The link to this is just in the description to get that. Also, on the note of environmental changes, check out this video here because I think it pairs really well with a half year reset. Just sort of changing up your space to reflect the person that you want to become. So yeah, I reckon those two in tandem might pack a freaking punch, man. Alrighty, have a gorgeous day, subscribe if you're new, and happy journaling. Catch ya.